Hey there, YouTube. It's Snowy Snivy back with another episode of Fate Stay Night. If you don't remember, on the last part, we were just watching Archer and Lancer battle it out some. You know, Lancer calls Archer a cheater. You know, all that stuff. Really exciting. I'm hoping to finish up the prologue in this part. And hopefully we will. Because then in the next part we can move on to the actual gameplay. And that'll be fun because I'll actually be able to make choices and stuff. Yay! But yeah, cheater. Lancer's irritation is understandable. Even though Lancer fought as a spearman, Archer fended him off as a swordsman. Which means Archer hasn't shown any of his abilities yet. So it's natural for Lancer to feel ghastly. Very blunt. True.
そういう君は分かりやすいな。総兵には最速の英雄が選ばれるというが、君はその中でもえりすぐりだ。これほどの宗師は世界に3人といまい。加えて、獣のごとき敏捷さといえば、おそらく一人。ほう。
At that instant, his vast murderous intent makes me forget to breathe. That is some very murderous intent. Lancer's arm moves. This is different from before. It stands free from contempt. The spearhead is lowered as if to strike the ground, and only his stare pierces Archer. Lancer's body sinks down. At the same time, a chill like thorns fills the schoolyard. The air freezes. Not a metaphor. It literally freezes. Wow. All the mana in the air is frozen. The only person allowed to breathe here is the warrior called Lancer. The lance in Lancer's hands is unmistakably a demonic one. And now it is waiting to take its true form in the moment it strikes. Oh crap. Archer will be beaten. I don't know what kind of noble phantasm that is, but Archer will be beaten. It's implausible since this is the first time I felt such an intuition, but there's no doubt about it. Archer will die when that lance is thrust. That's some very, I don't know. It is determined. Literally, Lancer's lance is the embodiment of inescapable death. Archer will be defeated. Archer will die when Lancer pierces his heart. And yet, even though I know what's going to happen, I can't even help him. Because if I move even a finger, that will trigger the attack. So if anything can stop this battle and stop Archer's defeat, it would be the chance appearance of a stranger we have all overlooked. The ghastly air coming from Lancer disappears. The sound of fleeing footsteps. That figure is definitely wearing a school uniform. Archer says calmly. Well, we were certainly saved, but... Well, for that instant, my thoughts stop. Archer goes after Lancer immediately. I curse my carelessness. It's the rule of Magi to eliminate any witnesses, which is why if we don't want to do that, one just had to allow no witnesses. I've done that until now, so why do I have to make the mistake today of all days? A night where even the moonlight is obscured. A student is lying on the cool hallway floor, and Archer is standing still. He's staring blankly at the student. A smell hits my nose. The blood from the floor makes it clear that's the smell of death. Archer goes after Lancer. I'm left alone with the student lying on the floor. I can't look straight at him, but I must. This is my fault. This is my fault. This is my fault. Ever since I was a child, ever since I became the success for the Tohsaka, I've been preparing for something like this. There's no good or evil for Magi. I've always told myself that this road is only my blood and the blood of others. Unfortunately, he can. I don't know how long it's been since Lancer killed him. Was he lucky or unlucky to be pierced through the heart? I guess Lancer's attack isn't a simple external wound, as the flow of blood from the rupture wasn't too severe. It's not too severe, but it's all over when the brain doesn't get any more blood. No, basically if his heart were pierced, he should have died instantly. Yes. He's still breathing faintly as if to give his last scream. But that will only last a few more seconds. He can't heal his own wounds, and I don't have enough power to save him either. I try to touch the head, facing the ground, and realize my fingertips won't move. You're trembling. I wonder why. I'm used to such things. I've had to make these kinds of choices many times before. Lost many things due to my mistakes and my selfishness. That's why I'm ready for a day like this. So why am I so angry at myself? I control my trembling fingertips and failing knees with my will and look at the face of the student. A huge smacking sound. It really feels like I've been hit on the head with a hammer. I grit my teeth, not to suppress my trembling. I'm really pissed off. Why is it him? Why did it have to be him? I'm not mad at Lancer for killing a witness quickly and perfectly, just as a servant should do. I'm just angry at him for staying so late at this place on this day. Sakura's face flashes in my mind. She'll definitely cry. And I recall one red-tinted day after school, a long time ago. A distant sunset. Someone always running alone. And a boring girl staring at that from far away. Before me, the corpse of someone who happened to get involved. There is a way. I might fail and lose my last resort in the process, but there is still a way. No, I'll lose my last resort whether I succeed or fail, so the result for me won't change. It's a mistake. The fact of his death is already determined. It's my fault for not noticing the things around me. It's his fault for being unlucky to stay here late. But I don't need to go that far. Yes, because this is what my father, who gave me nothing else, left just for me. A powerful chunk of magical energy, a reliable last resort to win through this battle. A precious, precious thing just for me. Shake the feeling off and kneel in front of the one who will become a corpse in another second. The pendant in my hand becomes lighter. My father's memento is drained almost to emptiness and falls into what used to be a dying body. Yes, it can't be helped. I didn't have the power or skills to revive someone with a damaged heart, damaged blood vessels, and on the verge of brain death on top of that. That's why I had to make up for my lack of skill with this powerful object. But since he was still alive, I did just what I could and ended up saving his life. I'm just bluffing. Yeah, there's no need for me to stay here any longer. Archer should be following Lancer, so I should go home by myself. On my way back, I remember. I left the pendant at school, just a pendant now that the magical energy has been drained out of it. Oh, that's not the only thing you forgot. I have no more use for that pendant. Sure, it might have a bit of magical energy left in it, but surely less than 10 jewels I have. What my father intended to leave for me was enough magical energy to win the Holy Grail War. So now, without magical energy, nothing is meaningless. You just wasted that, Rin. Oh my god, no. You wasted it on him. I enter the house without saying anything and sit on the sofa. Archer isn't back yet. I sigh and listen to the clock for a few minutes. I jump up and brew some tea. There's so many things to think about. Most importantly, the servants. I've just witnessed a battle between servants I had previously only understood intellectually. The easiest way to defeat an enemy is to learn their identity. Ignoring for the moment the idiot who doesn't even know his own identity, the biggest weak point of a servant is their true name. Discovering the servant's true name, in other words, figuring out their identity, should let you take a guess at what kind of noble phantasm they might have. It goes without saying, but since servants are heroic spirits, they have a legend associated with them. If you figure out the legend, you should be able to find out most of their abilities. Servants are called by their class names because they want to hide their true names. Because the more famous a hero is, the more people know about their weapons and their weaknesses. A heroic spirit that becomes a servant never gives out their true identity. The only ones who know the servants' identities are the masters. There's even a There's even a tacit understanding that the masters hide their servants' identities while trying to discover the identities of the others. Hold on. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but my dog's snoring so loudly right now. Sorry, I just find that funny. Alright. This is the 5th Holy Grail War. The qualities of the servants are determined by the ranks of the summoned heroic spirits. It goes without saying that the more famous heroes and the heroes with better weapons are stronger. But it's difficult to summon such heroic spirits. To summon a heroic spirit, one must have a connection with them, such as a weapon they use during their lives. Even the Magic Association has a few of such things. So generally, one will summon a heroic spirit that summons them. Summons? So generally, one will summon a heroic spirit that suits them, like I did. A servant's strength is determined by the rank of the heroic spirit. But it's not that simple as even the most powerful heroic spirits may have a hard time depending on the class they are assigned to. I was starting out so well too. What's happened? That is because of the special abilities assigned to each class, the possibility of the weak defeating the strong. The 7 classes each have a different additional ability, and one even has a chance of defeating an opponent of higher rank depending on the ability's affinity. To take an example, an infamous hero has defeated a great hero 4 times in the past. As far as I know, the most powerful servant is Saber. In all the previous 4 wars, Saber has made it to the final fight. It is said that the 3 classes, Saber, Lancer, and Archer, have strong magical resistance. To put it simply, magic is pretty much useless against them. It's because they are fighters who fought through the ages of myths, while magics were used widely. Magics that Magi use now would probably dissipate just by touching them. Anyways, that's why these 3 classes are considered the basics and the best. Another that's worthy of mention is the Servant Berserker. The heroic spirit summoned into this class loses their sanity. Just as the name implies, they become a mad warrior puppet of their master. The benefit from this is a strengthening of the power, far exceeding the powers that they had when alive. However, the more powerful a servant becomes, the greater the burden it imposes on the master. In the past, masters who summoned Berserker couldn't control their rampaging servants and destroyed themselves by running out of magical energy. No exceptions. The winners and losers of the Holy Grail War are largely determined by the abilities of the servants. Well, I expect there are always ways to win it by the master's efforts, but it's basically a fight between the servants. That is why a master should be very careful when summoning a servant. I silently consider the plans we should make from now on. The clock, fixed already, strikes 11 while I do so, and Archer comes home. As I expected. Lancer was alone, and it seems his master isn't the type to show up for battles personally. Yes, there's no way everything will go as I might hope. So it can't be helped. Let's consider what happened tonight as tuition fee for the lessons learned. Archer protests silently, as we should do so. I see. I guess I look depressed. Archer nods, understanding. Then, Archer makes a troubling face and starts to ponder something.
一つ聞き忘れていた。リン、君は幼い頃からマスターになるべく育てられ、それに従ってきたのだろう。
当たり前じゃない。それはいきなりマスターに任命される魔術師もいるそうだけど、私は別よ。
そうだろう。なら目的が塔にあるはずだ。私はそれを聞き忘れていた。主の望みを知らなければ。リン、それで君の願いは何だ？
願い？そんなの別にないけど。
何？
Oh, Archer's making a funny face.
そんなはずはあるまい。聖杯とは願いを叶える万能の杯だ。
That is a pretty funny face, though. Look at his eyes. Archer is asking with a serious expression. Very intense, too. Oh, I see. The master's wish after obtaining the Holy Grail isn't irrelevant to the servant. But it's strange. Father said the servants have wishes as well, but that's only their wish. I don't think Archer should be concerned because I don't have any wishes. And that means he can hog the wish all for himself. It only grants one wish anyway. I don't see why masters and servants are working together in this case. So, I don't know. Once again, if anyone has an answer to why masters and servants are working together when they both have a wish for the Grail and the Grail can only grant one wish, please tell me. That's really confusing me right about now.
よし、明確な望みがないのであれば、漠然とした願いはどうだ。例えば、世界を手にするといった風な。
That does seem like a very Rin-like wish.
なんで？世界なんてとっくに私のものじゃない。
What? You're sounding like a Claire Stanfield right here.
This world is completely mine, as if it came to me in an endless dream. My dream.
ねえ、あーちゃん。世界ってのはつまり自分を中心とした価値観でしょ？そんなものは生まれた時から私のものよ。
Archer looks at me with a troubled expression. I'm amazed. The guy really is hard-headed.
バカな。聖杯とは望みを叶える力。
だって世界征服もめんどくさいし、そんな無駄なことを願っても仕方がないでしょ。
理解に苦しむな。
そこに戦いがあるからよ、はーちゃん。ついでにもらえるものはもらっておく。聖杯がなんだかは知らないけど、いずれ欲しいものができたら使えばいいだけでしょ。
つまり君は。
ええ。ただ勝つために戦うの、あーちゃん。
Sounds about right. Maybe he's disappointed in my opinions, but it seems he's really relaxed.
まあ言った。確かに君は私のマスターにふさわしい。
I find it hard to deal with that kind of comment, so I wish he'd stop saying such things.
サーバントにマスターを選ぶ権利はないけど、一応聞いとく。
言うまでもない。君は、使える相手としてこれ以上のものはない。
そう、ありがとう。あなたに言われるなら世辞ってわけじゃなさそうだし。
I look away because I'm embarrassed. I find it hard to deal with Archer because he speaks frankly like this, even though he's so cynical. But, well, I'm honestly happy that he trusts me. I trust Archer and he trusts me. I don't think his sense of solidarity is a bad thing.
さて、ならば一息得ようか。7人目のマスターが現れるにせよ。それは今すぐというわけでも。
飾りってペンダントのこと？
それはそうだが。
ええ、父さんの形見だけど、別に。
よくはない。
So saying, Archer takes out the pendant I left at school.
拾いに行ってくれたんだ、あーちゃん。
もう忘れるな。それは リンにしか似合わない。
No, he's blushing. Sort of. Kinda. A little. As if he's embarrassed, Archer looks away as he hands me the pendant. I accept it. To be honest, I don't know if I should be embarrassed or cool about it. The pendant is as it was. As expected, there's no magical energy left in it. Empty of magical energy, it's just an expensive but ordinary jewel. It doesn't hold any power. But, as Archer would put it, even if there's no power left in this pendant, it still has meaning as something my father specifically left for me. Then, maybe I can just laugh off the fact that I helped that guy by sacrificing my trump card. Something clicks in my head. Ah, she finally remembered. I wasn't thinking straight back then because of my regret, but thinking about it calmly, I missed something. He saw us, so it would be dangerous unless we adjusted his memory. Basically, Lancer prioritized eliminating the witness over the battle with us. Lancer's thinking probably matches his master's. So, if such a master finds out the guy they killed didn't die, what would he do? I get up from my sofa. It's been 3 hours since then. I might not make it, but after all I did, I have to make it on time. I run through the night. Fortunately, I know where his house is. No, I didn't look it up, but it just so happens that an acquaintance of mine goes there a lot. I've never been there myself. Archer has no interest in cooperating. He was against saving the guy when he was dying, and he's against me going to help him right now. It's midnight. Under the cloudy night sky, we reach the Japanese-styled house. There's no sight of anyone in this house at the edge of the residential district. There aren't many houses around, and there's no one to come and help if something else happens here. My breathing is white. A wind starts to pick up. It must be quite strong as the clouds start to drift fast. The supposedly warm wind of Fuyuki sends chills down my spine, making me tremble. Even if Fuyuki City is considered warm, it's still cold on the hill. The air around here is frozen. I strain my ears in the cold atmosphere. In the frozen feeling, I feel a small sense of an enemy. I bite my lip. His presence is perceptible on the other side of this wall. Lancer is in the house already and about to kill the same guy again. He was just come out without a clue as to what happened. Just as I'm about to command Archer to go in. A bright white light, like a fallen sun, comes from within the house. The presence is eclipsed by another presence. The wave of power of the servant Lancer is consumed by an even larger wave. The instantaneous explosion of ether gives the spiritual being a body, summoned to overpower Lancer. I can only mutter, but it's true. To prove it, Lancer jumps over the wall and leaps away as if fleeing someone. Archer answers calmly. I've lost my normal judgment. That's why I didn't even consider the obvious event that would follow. The wind blows strongly. Clouds cover the sky like an umbrella. The unlit suburbs are closed by darkness. And the servant jumps over the wall, coming down like a demonic bird. Archer has reacted already, but I couldn't react. That was my mistake. The battle ended with just that small opening, not lasting even a second. It might have been only a second for me, but for that servant, it was an opening that couldn't be ignored. A sword rushes for me. Archer pushes me aside and the servant slashes him. It happens in an instant. Archer, who handled Lancer's fury of attacks beautifully, had been taken down with one blow. But I make it in time this time. I make it in time this time? Weird phrasing. Whatever. Just as the enemy servant is about to cut off Archer's head with the blade, I forcibly remove him. A pain in my right hand. It must have been an exclusive command, so a command spell has disappeared from my hand. Now there's only one remaining. But this is for the best. Rather than having Archer die, I would prefer to lose 1 or 2 command spells. Giving no consideration to Archer's disappearance, the servant attacks me. I take from my pocket a topaz with a wind spell stored in it. Then I launch all the magical energy it contains at her without possessing it. This thing, which can blow away a house without a trance, is a bundle of wind spells I've stocked up over time. It's one of the 10 jewels I've been putting my magical energy into for 17 years without rest. I'm using all the magical energy stored in it, so even if I can't defeat her, it should at least slow her down a bit. No, not even that. Did nothing. The swirl of wind that instantly tears apart everything caught within it disappears like a magic trick the instant it touches the servant. Such strong magic resistance. Mere magical energy from a magus cannot hurt the servant. So this is it. She can't be hurt by magic and I've lost the protection of Archer, so I can't stop the servant. I barely managed to avoid 1 blow, but that's all. I look up at the night sky. In it is the figure of a cold-hearted death, who is looking down at me as I lay miserably on the ground. The wind blows. In between the dark clouds in the spiral sky, the moon shines. The falling moonlight and the beautiful face. This is the servant that drove off Lancer. Defeated my Archer in a single strike, and annulled my magic with no trouble. The girl's voice is like a bell. Yes, this voice is like a nightmare right now. It's only natural. The more beautiful my enemy is, the more of a nightmare it is, as I cannot believe the difference in our strength. The point of the sword shines brilliantly. On the verge of death, I understand. With just 1 look, without proof. This is the card I wanted. This is the one said to be the strongest of all servants, the hero of the sword. I look up at the moon, accepting my death. There's no time for me to flee or plead for my life. I will die here and Tohsaka Rin's Holy Grail war will end on the 3rd day. There is only disgrace and regret, and I will probably vanish bearing a grudge against my enemy. But still, I don't feel anything. Something must really be wrong with me. Even though I'm going to be killed in an instant, I adore her again. That's right. If you ask for regrets, that's it. But I guess it can't be helped. Because she's the most powerful servant. Because her figure is so heartless, so infinitely valiant, and so beautiful. Fate Stay Night. Yes! Let me move this back to the center now. There we go. So, once again, if you are hyped for the Fate route to be coming out, whatever, the next time I update, then please comment, like, whatever. I'm just really happy that we're going to be starting the next route soon. Or the first route soon. We finally finished the prologue. I'll finally be able to actually make some choices. So, alright. I guess I'm going to go now. And, alright, I'll see y'all. Snowy Snivy out.